Hello, this is Eshniner Forest doing a commentary on my first album, Halloween Tape. Now, I did this quite a while ago. A lot of these recordings age back to 1999. I was using, at that time, sound recorder on a 486 PC to multi-track, and a few of those songs are on there, like Static Crystal, I think was multi-tracked on the computer, as well as Who Is Talking, and possibly some early versions of Trick or Treat were done on a computer as well. But for the most part, most of them were done on a Tascam 4-track, which were being produced at the time for home recording, multi-tracking. It was a very simple sort of device. It was like a tape recorder, inputs, and you selected the track you wanted to record on. It recorded on a tape cassette, just any old regular tape cassette, and there's 4 tracks on a tape cassette. The only difference was it always recorded. It was a double-sided, a tape recorder. So basically, it could record on all 4 sides, or not all 4 sides, but both sides of the tape to make a. You could put drums on one track, you could put vocals on another track, you could put guitar on another track, and some other sort of percussion or guitar on another track, creating 4 separate tracks, and then you could balance them out and equalize them as best you could on the device. It was very simple, but that's what I did back then. A few notes on songs. At the beginning of Static Crystal, you can hear like this sort of staticky sound. That was CB radio transmissions that I recorded on another tape, as well as regular radio transmissions on AM stations. And it was an old-fashioned radio. I'd turn the knob and it pick up like those high-pitched squalls, and it did that live previous to putting them into the device and putting the song at the end of it. The song was recorded into a computer and then outputted into the multitrack. There's a point at the end of it, at the end of the staticky sounds, where you can hear the song Good Vibrations by the Beach Boys. You can hear the organ come in and kind of some vocals come in. On the history of Darkness and Light, that guitar sound was done through an amplifier that my friend James lent me, and I loved that amplifier. I wish he gave it to me, but he ended up selling it, and it had like a really cool reverb sound on it. A lot of the songs that don't have any vocals I really appreciate, because like the microphone that I was using was a Radio Shack microphone, and whenever I use it, it had like a hiss to it, and it was definitely apparent that it was on because it picked up a lot of extra sound. And I tried to minimize it as best I could. Like whenever I remember singing into the microphone, I had to be really, really still, or else you'd hear like any sort of popping or crackling from the cord. So it was really kind of hard to sing into and not be still. I remember taking many takes of myself singing just because I wiggled a little bit or moved to get the track done right, and nothing's perfect on the thing. So you hear everything that that I could minimalize as best I could. Who Is Talking was inspired by Bikini Kill / Kathleen Hanna lyrics. I don't know why, but I was really into them at the time. You could definitely hear it in the way I was singing. It was kind of Kathleen Hanna-ish. The backing track was done on a computer, 46, through sound recorder, multi-tracked, and then inputted into the device. I think the drums were done separately. Ghost Buildings was myself trying to be the Beach Boys, and I recorded that at my dad's house. My dad was gone out of town, and he let me, come to his house and do whatever I wanted, and I particularly chose to record. I really like the breakdown, the instrumental bit, the ooh, ah, ooh, whatever I did back then. When the Goblins Cry has a really cool intro. I just listened to the album just now, and I haven't heard it since about 2004, and that's when I was passing out tapes of this album. It was a 30-minute tape. I put everything I could into it as best I could using the technology I had. When the Goblins Cry has a pretty cool intro. I was impressed. I don't even know how I played that. I remember the chords to this actual song, but the intro, is a whole nother story. Also, this subject matter of When the Goblins Cry seems to have like a bigger perspective to it. I was broadening my personal image of the world at that time. Still learning about people, concepts, new ideas, and you can definitely tell in the lyrics that I was growing up in a sense. Owl Dance Fantasia. That's me trying to do songs like Let's Go Away for a While and Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys. I was really into I really like the melodic changes those two songs had on Pet Sounds. You can hear it a little bit. I know I can hear it because I made it, but I can hear it in those songs, those instrumentals on Halloween Tape as a whole. I can hear me trying to be the Beach Boys. Rats and Snakes, it was recorded in Athens. I had like a medieval thing going on. I don't know. The whole thing has a bit of a medieval feeling to it, but this song definitely has medieval chords to it, and I really like that. Echolocation Madness. That was one of the first songs I ever wrote. First one or two songs that I ever wrote, and I'm surprised at how good quality the final recording came out. Sounds good. I like it. Trick or Treat. That's a song that was never put on the album, but it was intended to be like the first track of the record. I didn't put it on there because I didn't like how I sang it. I was like a little whiny kid, and I didn't want to sound like a little whiny kid. The intro to it, Trick or Treat. There's a story behind the intro. There's this girl I was friends with on the internet at the time named Cleo, and she lived in Calgary, Canada. We'd chat online, and one time I asked her, hey, would you like to send me like a audio file of you saying Trick or Treat in as many different voices as you can? And she replied and sent it back to me, and I use that as the intro to Trick or Treat, the song. I think it's a good outtake to put on here because it applies to the whole Trick or Treat Halloween theme that I was going for at the time. Crazy Clocks wasn't put on the album, though it was recorded to be on the album, and it wasn't put on there basically because it was too many recordings. I had already, all the other recordings filled up 30 minutes of time, and the tape had 15 minutes on each side, so this little 4-minute some odd track couldn't fit. There's another recording that was never put on the album. It's called 1986 Recordings. And it was me as a kid reading a Halloween story that I wrote. My friend James makes fun of me because he heard the tape one time because I say the word bat really funny. It's like brat. I don't remember how else I said it, but every once in a while my friend James will go brat, and I'll be like, yeah, haha, yeah, I said bat weird. But overall, I think it's an interesting little album. I did a pretty good job on my own mixing and making the audio sound as best as I could for its time. I'm going to try to get my friend Dave to make a little audio commentary on the album as well. Dave, when I moved to Athens, somehow he got a copy of Halloween Tape, and he lived in Connecticut. He moved to Athens soon after he heard my tape, and we became friends after that. So, and he really likes my Halloween Tape album, so I'm going to try to get him to do a commentary on this as well. Alright, I hope you guys enjoyed listening to this. Thank you.